What's up, guys? Welcome back to the FNG Academy. Buck here, former Green Beret, here to help you guys get selected. Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about my top tips for SERE School. I know we've talked about SERE School and I've told you why it's a secret. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I talk about why people don't typically talk about SERE School. I know it's on the internet, but you're probably not going to find a lot of former Green Berets that are willing to break down SERE School. And the reason for that is, if you haven't seen that video, because the training value is so high, we don't want to ruin the experience for you by giving you all the answers. However, there are a couple tips that I think will help enhance the experience and not take away from it. So I want to talk to you about those today, and we're going to talk about my top tips for SERE School. Before we do that, this video is sponsored by 18 Alpha Fitness. If you want to get in shape and you want to make it to SERE School, you're going to need to be in the top shape of your life. So use code word BUCK and go check out Kevin over 18 Alpha Fitness. He's a former Green Beret. He'll get you right. Also, you're going to need a knife for SERE School. So yes, we sell them. Newsflash, guys, the FNG Academy is a business. So in order to bring you the most best equipment for special operations and the best knowledge, we have to also dive into having the best equipment, selling the best equipment. So we toured up with Tour Knives. As you guys know, we did a drop the first time and it sold out in like 8 hours. So we did it again. So here we are with the FNG Academy Tour Knife, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you're getting an extra $550. We extended the lanyard, and that's so you could tie a wrist loop for when you're chopping, you don't lose your knife. You could tie a finger loop, and then you also have that for survival situation. We also did a false edge on the top of the knife, so it's better for stabbing, and then it's sharp enough, and you could fillet small animals. Newsflash, you're going to have to do that. It's just an awesome knife, and I think it's perfect for SERE School. That's why we teamed up with Tor to design it and to make our adjustments so we could bring you guys the best knife for SERE School. So let's jump into my top tips for SERE School that I think will enhance the experience and not take away from giving you too much information about captivity and the things that they do to you in captivity, which are intense. But a couple things that you guys can do in order to prepare for SERE School that will help drastically, not only help your experience, but it'll help the people around you. It'll help you guys be able to accomplish more and use more of the skills that the cadre are going to teach you. So no surprise, the cadre there, you're going to have a phase where they teach you a lot about survival stuff. That's when the knife comes in handy, because you're going to need it to fillet rabbits and all that stuff. And a lot of the survival stuff comes down to having a good knife. But they're going to teach you some really awesome skills, how to find food and how to build lean-tos and how to build your shelters and things like that. So what I do recommend is that you study that stuff beforehand, because here's what's going to happen. You're so overwhelmed with information in that phase of the course. It's an amazing part of the course. One of the most information, great stuff that you'll get in almost the entire Q course. It's incredible. The problem is it's so much of it, it's hard to retain a lot of that. So I think if you really do some pre-studying going into it, you could take advantage and start to actually put that knowledge into use once you're there, instead of just trying to remember what the fuck they told you, so then you could try it out. I remember with my group, I was starving, right? So I couldn't find food. It was winter. I had no idea how to identify any plants or to find any food. So I remember at one point scavenging, and I was finding these little freshwater snails, and they were this big, tiny little things. And I was collecting as many of them as I could possibly find, 30. And then I found a worm, so I pulled it out of the ground. I just started eating it. I got so hungry that I just wanted to chew and remember what it was like to chew on something that felt like meat. So my brain didn't even taste anything but, just make sure my battery's not dying. My brain didn't taste anything but the enjoyment of the chewing of that worm. So to me, that worm tasted amazing. Those snails, we tried boiling them, and there was no meat that came out of those snails. It was useless. It was just dirty water. But we really couldn't apply a lot of skills to that phase because we couldn't remember and we weren't studied up beforehand, and we really didn't know what we were doing. So I highly recommend that you guys study things that you could eat ways to find food in North Carolina, the berries that you could eat, the plants that you could use. They taught us how to make a tea, which was really helpful because at some point you just want flavor. So they taught us how to make a tea out of, I think it was the pine needles, and it was awesome. We did it. Any way to trick your mind to get a little bit more of a positive morale boost is awesome. Here's the downside to not having that information going into it. If you don't eat, what happens is after a while, your body starts trying to conserve all its energy. So then you want to just sleep all day. And that is completely counterproductive to survival. So in a survival situation, when people go out and practice, it's easy, right? You're setting traps. You're scavenging. You're looking for water. You're looking for food sources. You're out doing a lot of things. Well, doing those things takes a lot of energy. And if you're not feeding yourself, you're not going to have that energy. So once you're completely depleted, your body just starts to want to go to sleep. It wants to sleep and stay alive as long as it can on as little calories as possible. You don't even want to walk anywhere because you don't want to burn a single extra calorie. But if you have some knowledge going into it on how to find food, you'll be able to get some calories into your body, which means that you will have more energy to go out and try to catch animals, set snares, use the skills that they're teaching you in the course. So I think that tip on how to find food in North Carolina will only increase your ability to use the lessons learned and enhance the school and not take away from it. So that's a big one. Another one is learn how to build a lean-to or a survival shelter for your whole team. Not just for one person, because you're not going to be in a one-person scenario. And for the love of God, I don't even want to say that I'm pretty sure it was a captain who made this decision because you guys think I just hate captains and I shit on them all the time. But I'm pretty sure there's a fucking captain on my team that decided we're going to build a lean-to on a fucking hill. So this guy was like, this is a perfect spot for it. And we're like, okay, I don't know shit about lean-tos. He probably knows more than I do, so let's do it here. So we picked this spot and we're on a slope. So for whatever hours we got to sleep, which we really needed that sleep, we're rolling on top of each other. So the person on the bottom is getting all the weight from everybody else. It's like 8 people or 6 people inside this little lean-to. So the person on the bottom is just getting fucked. Like the guy is just laying on top of you and it's miserable. And then we had to pull all night duty. So, we're switching off, pulling out night watch. Well, you can't get out of the fucking thing because you're all stacked on top of each other on this damn hill. So learn how to build a lean-to and don't make stupid decisions like building on a fucking slope so you guys are all laying on top of each other. Shit sucked. It ruined my night. I can't confirm or deny that it was a captain that made that decision, but I'm pretty sure it was a fucking captain. So anyway, if you could study up on that too, that'll help a lot. So the 2 tips that I have to help you in SERE School that will actually add to the experience and not take away from it, study what you could eat in North Carolina because you could actually gain some calories, put some calories in your body, and go and use the knowledge that they're teaching you. And 2, study how to build a good shelter for multiple people, not just yourself. Don't just think, oh, for me, this works fine. Yeah, but there's going to be 6 to 8 people in your little group, and you're all going to want to work together to make the best shelter possible, even if it's only for one night. So 2 tips that I think will help you exponentially enjoy your experience and take full advantage of one of the best schools the military has to offer and some of the best training on the planet. If every citizen in the U.S. can go to SERE School, man, it would be incredible. I think that training should be for everybody. So, and maybe there is a civilian company that runs a similar type of school, but incredible. So, all right, guys, I hope that video helps. I hope, you could use those tips and then increase your chances. Just so you know, we do have the journal that dropped. So you guys know how I feel about journaling. I use journaling to stay on track. So I decided we should make one. It's got some land nav tips in it, the SF MOS breakdowns, the creed, some stuff in the beginning. And then in the book is just, I kind of wanted to break down how I journal so you guys can get started on your journaling process. So it'll be like days until SFAS, your motivation level. That being said, if you use the journal and your motivation levels, let's say it's at an 8, and then all of a sudden you wake up and your motivation's like a 4 or a 5. If you have that drastic change in your motivation level, if you keep track of every day how you're training, how you're feeling, how you're eating, writing all those things down, if you see a dip in your motivation level, Go back and track the last week that you just had and see what's changed. Did you do something different? Have you been working out way more, way less? Has your eating been shit? Did you start drinking more alcohol? What's changed? And so that's why journaling is so important. You could find out, how your daily habits are affecting your mood, your motivation, which could derail you from getting selected. So thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.